Hi, this is Ken. Welcome back to my channel. Well, it's fall, it's leaves, there's baseball in the air. Well, 31 years ago, that's what we were thinking about. The Battle of the Bay between the Oakland A's and the San Francisco Giants. The Giants were already lost 2 games in Oakland when they went back across the bay to San Francisco, and hopefully they were trying to do what they can to stop the game 3 from turning into another potential loss to the Athletics. Unfortunately, plans were changed for both teams and the cities they were both representing. See, the world was okay until 5:03. But as soon as the clock struck 5:04, part of the San Andreas Fault around Watsonville decided to snap. And when it did, between 15 to a minute shaking from Watsonville all the way to Sacramento did enormous damage across the region. Even though Candlestick Park was intact, everybody was safe inside. Unfortunately, we couldn't say the same for the people outside the stadium. Noticeably, in Oakland, the Cypress Expressway collapsed, 14 blocks of it. Parts of the Bay Bridge on the Oakland side had collapsed. Somebody tried to jump. Their car between the gap failed miserably. The person who operated the car died. Her passenger survived, but was in a pretty bad state. And of course, the Marina District was heavily damaged. Now, all this is because, unfortunately, these structures were built on man-made land or mud, which cannot withstand certain type of earthquakes. Unfortunately, this earthquake had a double whammy because the way the lands were built and so on. It has like a it's like a speaker. You aim them at certain positions, so you had the maximum sound and the music enjoyment. Unfortunately, the amplifications made it twice as bad. So, if you're on soft land, on mud, man-made land, so on, the amplifications is going to be much worse. And unfortunately, that's what happened. That's why 14 blocks of the Cypress Expressway collapsed, bay mud. It wasn't anchored into bedrock. Same as that Bay Bridge and the Marina District, which ironically was built on land, get this, from the 1906 earthquake. All the debris from the 06 earthquake was dumped in what is now the Marina District. And as soon as that area became land, all the builders wanted to build on it. Yes, it was built, but not properly secured. So, naturally, you see all these fires breaking out in the Marina District and no fire trucks around. Lucky that fire official was a baseball fan, because if he wasn't watching the World Series, he wouldn't know the Marina District was on fire. So when he saw that, he alerted the San Francisco Fire Department. I mean, it sounds funny now, but back then we didn't have the cell phones that we have now. So it's not like you could go on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and all that stuff say, hey, this is what's happening right now. But the blessing of this is for the media is because of the World Series, they have extra photographers from sports and everything else. So when baseball cards got canceled, they were able to document what was happening in the Bay Area. Now, of course, 63 people had died, over 4,000 injuries, and it's cost over $6 billion in damage. So it took a decade for San Francisco and the Bay Area to recover. Of course, the biggest thing was the Bay Bridge. Even though it was fixed, they obviously knew that they couldn't afford to wait for the next big one to come and knock this sucker down again. So eventually, another battle of the Bay took place. And this time with baseball is to replace that bridge as quickly as they can before the next earthquake, big earthquake. And they finally did. So, I'm not saying San Francisco is any safer now because of the earthquake, because it was like either a 6.9 to 7.1. We still don't know if something bigger is on its way. And we had other earthquakes in the area that rattled the place. So, I mean, I remember that earthquake well because I was coming home from an event. Now, in 1989, we didn't have the cell phones that we had. We had our TVs and stuff. So I was expecting, as I passed by, to see the game on TV. Instead, I see Ted Koppel on TV. The guy is from Nightline. When it's supposed to be World Series, and he's now a sports personality. So I'm figuring, what the heck is going on here? When I finally got to my TV, I found out what happened. So it's very sad. These earthquakes continue to happen, and they're going to continue until we finally learn our lesson and build these structures right in the first place, so we don't have to deal with this. Yeah, so we're always going to have earthquakes, but we shouldn't have buildings and structures collapsing around us, killing us, maiming us, and doing whatever the heck to us, because we're not being very careful or considerate of our landscape. So Sal can't say so on for now, and don't forget to stop. Play ball.